Welcome to World Building Map. This is where you're going to make a map just like this, where it has a theme. This one is the Isle of Sadness. It's got a compass pointing north. It's got some specific details that are labeled, and it has a legend at the top right. So we're going to include all these things, and this is a unique map that you're making based on your own concept. Now I'm going to show you how to make land masses and bodies of water using digital art in an easy way. You can see I'm doing lines here. Doesn't matter the shape as long as I close it. Now I'll make one that's open. And so using the paint bucket, what you can do is just tap inside and it fills. Tap inside. This one's open. If you tap inside, it fills the whole thing because it's not contained. So you got to make sure you close things up so that they can be filled with the paint bucket. Another way that you can make land masses or blobs or blocks or patches of color is by just using a bigger brush. You can make your brush really big in any of these apps and it goes really quickly. So instead of trying to color it in like pencil crayons, you're either, making something to fill and filling it, or you're bumping it way up. The last thing you can do is the lasso. You can use a poly lasso, a regular lasso, and fill it like that as well. So there's a few options when you're using digital art to make the map. Another helpful thing, you want to utilize layers. So all the bigger patches, all the bigger things like forests, trees, big areas that have a color change will benefit from having a new layer because you can rearrange them, you can edit them separately, and it makes it easier when you want to put things together. So that's another part. Let's start the actual project. So I'm going to start off by making the ocean or the world around it a certain color. So I'm using pink, and then I'm going to choose this blue color that pops off that color in order to make the original landmass. And so mine's abstract. You could shape it in the shape of a dragon, of a human head, whatever your theme is. You can always make the shape whatever you want. This one is, like I said, abstract, and so it's just got some natural curves to it. Then I'm making a new layer, and then I'm putting in my mountainous region. So this is where all the mountains reside. And you can see I fill those, and I make a new color, and then make a new layer. And then now this is grasslands down here. And finally, I'm going to add some forested area. So this blue is going to go in here, and there's not enough contrast, so I need to change that color. There we go. Now it pops off, and you can actually see the difference between the mountains and the forest. And there we go. So I'm going to put a little bit of forest on that island. And so you can add in text whenever you want. I'm going to put in the name of this world. And it's an island specifically, and the Isle of Sadness is the theme. So sadness is the theme, poking a little fun at being human. And then what I want to do is I want to show the different regions, and I want to have marks to show. So this is, with these triangles, I'm showing that this is going to be the forest. The forest has all these triangles. It makes it easy to identify in the map. Not only is it this purple color, but it also has a pattern on there. And so when you have that done, you can always put that in the legend. So the legend's going to show, what represents what. Then over down here where I put the grasslands, I'm going to do like a little abstracted grass kind of being blown in a direction. And then finally, I'm going to do the mountainous regions with these X's. So just filling up the space. You don't have to do this specific kind of pattern work, but you can if you want. There's lots of ways to show. I'm going to add those to the legend as well, so that I'm going to label that up. So I'm going to use some text in a bit. So I want to show some of the places, because you're going to name cities or land masses, bodies of water, anything that you think is interesting. So we got Melancholy Mountains, Lonely Bay. So all of my titles are actually referring to the concept, making it stronger. You don't have to do that. You can have different names for everything that don't tie in, but it's a good way to increase the potency of it. Regretful Reef. And then so once I have everything labeled, everything that I want, then I'm going to make sure that I finish up this legend. So I put in, what each mark represents on the map so that it's not confusing to people. It's easy to read. And then the final thing for this piece of it is I want to make it stand out. So the legend gets a little color in the back just to emphasize that that's there. And the final thing I have to do is to put a compass on here. So I'm going to make sure I point to north. I'm doing a bit of a different compass. It's not the usual. I thought I'd make it a little custom and interesting. and make sure I point towards north. And now I have everything. I have one title, one legend, I got 5 or more places, and I have my compass. So that's everything that you need. You can always add more, and good luck on your project.